Well, the eyes of the world are once again turning to the Vatican as preparations for Pope Francis's funeral takes place. Emma Rebellato is in Rome for us, where it's just gone past midnight. Now, Emma, we saw huge crowds flocking to the Vatican on the last day of the public viewing to pay their respects to the Pope for a final time.
That's right. The Vatican says more than 250,000 people went into St. Peter's Basilica over those 3 days as he was lying in state. At the moment, you can probably hear a bit of noise around me. That is because where I'm standing was a sea of people a few hours ago. They've all been cleared out and work is underway ahead of the funeral. So as I mentioned, more than 250,000 people went to see Pope Francis lying in state. At 7 o'clock local time, there was a changing of the guard that signalled that the public viewing was over. The live streaming then came to an end. 1 hour later, Kevin Farrell, the Cardinal, the Camerlengo, he presided over the sealing of the coffin. Now, the Vatican has since revealed that some relatives of the late Pontiff were there. They were joined by some cardinals and some Holy See officials as well. But we saw huge crowds here. They were all cleared out and then the preparations were to begin. So we know there is a huge security operation here as well because we have so many world leaders in attendance, as well as possibly hundreds of thousands of people who will be lining the streets. We have 8,000 national security agents. They'll be monitoring underground, they'll be monitoring the surface, they'll be monitoring the air as well. So this is a huge operation ahead of the funeral.
All right, and the funeral, of course, takes place at 10 a.m. local time. That's about 6 p.m. Australian Standard Time. What can we expect at the funeral?
So the funeral will take place outdoors, outside of St. Peter's Basilica, so in the square. So the coffin of Pope Francis will be brought outside. We know Giovanni Battista Re, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, will preside over the funeral. As I mentioned, world leaders will be here. A lot of them are already in Rome. The delegation will be seated to the right of the altar, and a seating plan has been revealed for that as well. So the Argentinian president will be given priority because, of course, Pope Francis was Argentinian. That'll be followed by Italy, and then people will be seated in French alphabetical order. However, reigning monarchs will be given priority in that seating plan. Thousands of people will be in St. Peter's Square as well to watch the funeral. When Giovanni Battista Re, he presides over this funeral, there'll be special readings that have been chosen. There's almost 90 pages that have been revealed for the order of service. The readings will be in English, Italian and Latin, other languages as well. The choir of the Sistine Chapel will be singing for Pope Francis one final time. Now, when the Mass ends here, that's when the procession begins. So Pope Francis's coffin will be walked to his final resting place. That's a few kilometres away, the Basilica di Santa Maria Maggiore. It is there that a group of people who are poor and marginalised will welcome the coffin outside the basilica. They will pay a final tribute. Then the coffin will be brought inside for a final mass. That will be broadcast, but then the broadcast will stop and a private burial will take place for Pope Francis. The Vatican has already released images of the tomb. It's simple marble. All it says is Franciscus, the Latin name for Francis. Now, this mass today, in a few hours, begins 9 days of mourning. So there'll be daily masses here at St. Peter's Basilica. Then the conclave can meet to vote for a new pope. Now, we still don't have the exact date of when that will take place. But in the meantime, tens of thousands of people will line the streets of Rome to bid Pope Francis one final farewell.